Hi, it's the Boffin. I've been away from videos for far too long, so I'm back with a quick techie one tonight. About 2 years ago, I shot a video where I showed off this TS100 soldering iron. It's a great little device. I just use a piece of corner bead as a soldering iron stand, but there's lots of things you can do to upgrade it. First of which is there's free open source firmware. I'll put the links in the description from Moralum. That helps. Another thing is I got a new tip for it. I'll give a zoom in. It's a little screwdriver tip. I just like that style of tip better. It seems to work better for me. However, what I don't like about it is I currently power it off a laptop power supply. And I've just got a cord coming off here. It gives me just shy of 20 volts. And that does a good job powering it, but this is kind of a thick cord and this is a bit unwieldy. And I thought, I got a new toy. How can we make this work? This is a new Anchor USB power supply battery, but it's USB power delivery. I don't know if you can see that, but USB PD is supposed to be able to deliver 18 volts at a fairly decent current to charge things like laptops, and this will in fact charge my Chromebook just fine. So let's see if we can make this work with this soldering iron. What are we going to need? Well, we've got the battery. Put that aside for now. Next thing is I've got some nice flexible silicone wire. Silicone because it won't be damaged by heat. It's light. It's nice and flexible. That'll work nicely with this project. We need a power connector. I like the metal ones. They're just a little bit better built. And really, we're talking an extra $1. And this is the magic device. This is a little USB power delivery module that will tell the USB power pack to go from 5 volts all the way up to 18. So let's put all this together and make ourselves a battery-powered soldering iron. Let's first put on the power end here, and I'm not going to make you suffer through watching all of this. I'll speed it up. When I'm soldering on these steel connectors, I like to rough up the surface first, and the best thing to do that is these under $1 nail files that you can get from the beauty supply, or you can steal them from your wife. Your choice. Now remember, when you're soldering, you want to apply the solder to the joint, not to the iron. Not my best job, but that'll do it. We'll just chop off the extra, put down the cable clamp. One end down, one end to go. Now before I put this on here, I'm going to throw a grommet on this, and you'll see why later. I just want something around this wire to hold it. Now the holes on this are really tiny. The next thing we need to do is make sure we have the polarity correct. We'll grab my meter just off the shot here. we want to make sure that the outside is the negative. Not that one, it's that one. And just so that we know that's the outside and that's the negative, I'm just going to put a little black mark on it with a Sharpie. Then we won't forget. Black for negative. Now we need to solder in this truly tiny little board. And on the back, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you that, I'll put in some close-ups. You can see positive and negative. So negative will be furthest from me. Will it even fit in the hole? These are pretty small wires and a pretty small hole to go into. Do the negative first. No particular reason, just the one I've marked. It's in the hole. There we are. Should be able to see that. Sure my cable's plugged in all the way. We'll zoom in for the other one. That should be it for the soldering. And let's see how we did. So let's get our tools out of the way. And let's have a test. USB power delivery. We just need a USB-C cable. I just happen to have one over here ready to go. Plug it into this little module. Put the meter on volts. Should be able to see it from there. And we should have plus 18 or so. Well, about 20. That should do the job nicely. Let's try it in the iron. Success. Comes up to temperature. Running from a USB battery pack. Now let's just finish this off and make it look a little bit nicer and to give it a little bit more strength, and you'll see why I put that grommet in there. We're going to take a little bit of heat shrink and heat shrink the whole module inside. So slide the grommet up to, but not quite at the end. Cut off a piece of heat shrink. About that size. We'll slide that over that and the grommet. And if you do this with when you're putting heat shrink on something and you have a big hole to cover, because I don't think it would pinch these wires. However, with that grommet in there, it'll hold it tight. Just going to use a hot air gun to shrink that up. Perfect. And that's the complete USB power delivery cable for a TS100. Not much to it. Just takes a regular USB in one end, USB-C, and the other end into your soldering iron. With this Ralum software, you can actually see how much power and voltage it's producing. And we bring it up, and we're getting about 35 watts, 19.4 volts. Pretty impressive. Comes up to temperature very quickly. I'd call this whole project a win. Thanks for watching. See you next time.